I have not played a game quite like Unto the End. Okay, let's back that up. Unto the End feels like an amalgamation of several different games. The purposeful combat of Dark Souls, the physics and traps of Limbo, the exploration of another world. But it feels so unique in comparison to all of these. Oh, did I mention it's infuriatingly difficult? As of this recording, Unto the End is set to launch on Nintendo Switch tomorrow, and we have some early impressions of the game. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Unto the End exudes minimalism in nearly every way. Not only is this immediately apparent when considering the game's art direction, but to learn the narrative requires examination of the game's more subtle context clues. The lock of hair the protagonist is given at the outset of his journey, the snow-swept terrain upon which he embarks, and the makeshift scoreboard seen in the game's combat tutorial all hint at the tale of a husband and father out to hunt food for his family when unforeseen circumstances tear them apart. In the hour or so I've played of Unto the End, the rest of the story is left to my interpretation, and I didn't get far enough into the game to see what the payoff is, if any, at the end, or where the story leaves us. To that end, I appreciate that the story, at least initially, is yours to discover. Unto the End is a story, and game, of survival. Needing to explore a dark and menacing cave to presumably return home, the nameless protagonist must take his sword and torch and navigate his way through the cavernous depths. The monstrous enemies you'll face off against are all armed with swords, and the game relies on a read-react battle system, so reading your enemy's movements and reacting appropriately is key to success. Unfortunately, my success was limited at best. There's no big sugarcoat for this one. Unto the End is brutally difficult. Combat is straightforward enough. The Y button triggers a low attack, while the X button triggers a high attack. Neutral A causes the character to duck, and A with left or right directional input causes the character to roll dodge. You can even parry and shoulder check your enemies. Unfortunately, the aforementioned read-react battle system is one that takes some getting used to. Enemies don't give ample visual cues in terms of which attack type, low or high, they will be using, so a quick read of their position is needed in order to avoid a swift and painful death. And death happens often, as your character is downed after 2 direct hits. Fortunately, dying doesn't lead to any lost progress, so you can rinse and repeat easily enough. There is an option in the game settings to slow down combat speed, but for the purposes of this video I wanted to show the game at its intended difficulty level. Which means you get to see me die. Over. And over. And over again. Beyond combat, there are some light puzzles and a heavy emphasis on exploration. Character movement, platforming, and the way deadly traps are hidden in plain sight are very reminiscent of Limbo, which I say is high praise. Unto the End is a beautiful and evocative yet blisteringly difficult game. If difficult combat scenarios and Limbo-esque exploration and physics are your cup of tea, this may be right up your alley. I'll definitely be needing to use that combat slowdown feature as I endeavor to see the game through to its end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, and we would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to support us. For more Nintendo Switch reviews, previews, and other content, keep it right here at SwitchJoy.